All right, what's going on, guys? SteelTwins back at you with another mock draft.
Yeah, man, so let's just get right into it with the 49th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft. The Pittsburgh Steelers select Michael Pittman Jr., wide receiver out of USC. Now, this is interesting. This is a very interesting pick because, now, depending on who you talk to, in my opinion, wide receiver is a big need because we need someone that we need to rotate, or we need someone that is able to rotate with the three guys we got. You guys know who they are. We got Deon Cain, who I think is being seriously slept on. And the thing with Pittman, now, he's not the speedy, deep threat that a lot of Steelers fans want, like a Jalen Reagor or a KJ Hamler, who were definitely in consideration for this pick. But honestly, I can see both being gone. Reagor, I could see sneaking into the first round, whether that's Eagles, whether that's the Packers, whether that's maybe the Niners, who knows? But I could see Reagor sneaking into the first round.
Right.
And KJ Hamler, although his injuries may, drop his stock, I still somewhat see him not being there at 49, although if he is, it's kind of hard to pass up on him. Although he does have injury concerns and drop concerns. Those are easy fixes, of course. But, the reason why we went with Pittman is because of not only does he have the NFL bloodline that the Steelers, love in guys, just look at some of the guys they have on the roster now. Cameron Hayward, of course. You got Devin Bush.
TJ Watt. You got Terrell Edmonds. Just name a few.
Right. They all have NFL bloodlines. The Steelers love that type of stuff. But the great thing about Pittman is that he has great size and speed combo. Like, he's 6'4". He ran a 4.52, which isn't necessarily all that fast, but for his size, still very impressive.
Oh, it is.
He's 225, 230, somewhere around there. So he's a big dude. He's physical. He has impressive hands. And the thing about last year is that the Steelers receivers, although they're still young and they're going to grow completely, one of the main issues with the receivers last year were drops. And the thing with Pittman is he has arguably the best hands in this entire draft class. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe in his entire college career, Pittman only had like 5 drops, which is insane.
Right.
Absolutely insane. And Pittman is coming off a 100-plus reception season, over 1,000 yards, of course, in USC. And when you look at his film, most of his throws, or some of the throws you see on his film, is incredibly underthrown. But the thing about him is that he still makes those throws into big plays because he has incredible concentration, incredible tracking. He makes something, or he makes nothing into something. And the thing is, when it comes to Ben being pressured or a potential bad throw, especially with his injury coming off, him possibly being rusty, he's going to have a few bad throws here and there. He might come off very rusty early on like he usually does.
Right.
The thing with Pittman, although he might not see the field immediately because guys like that always are deep in the depth chart. Mm-hmm. Guys like Juju was the number 6 guy. Johnson was the number 5 or 6 guy. So they don't start immediately. But when he does get the opportunity, he still has that big play ability that we need. Again, he's not the speedy guy that a lot of Steelers want, but he has phenomenal hands, the size Ben wants, impressive speed, a big body build, which I think would complement the wide receiver core greatly because when you look at Johnson and Washington, they are kind of on the smaller side. And Juju, he's 6'1", 6'2"-ish, but he's not necessarily all that big. He can be physical when he wants to be. He has that yards after catch ability. He's a big play receiver for sure.
Yeah.
But Pittman has that full big body build, man, that would, like I said, complement the receiver core immensely.
Absolutely.
And his hands is just what impresses me the most. And he's only going to get better. When he gets on the judge machine, he's going to start working. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe Juju and Pittman were teammates for only 1 year, which was 2016. Correct me if I'm wrong. So you could, now they don't have much chemistry because Pittman barely saw the field that year.
Right.
But that locker room chemistry could return. They could grow on it. And that could be well for the locker room. That could work on the field. That could be great right there. You can move Juju in the slot. You can put Pittman outside. Johnson can be in the slot and outside. Same thing with Washington. So I think it would complement the receiving core immensely if Pittman was a selection. He's a big sleeper being slept on. I think this guy's going to be a beast in the NFL. Mm-hmm. His hands are absolutely incredible.
Yeah, they're out of this world. The guy's loaded with talent. And his size, he's 6'4". Although our receiving class is talented as all hell, we have no size. Pittman adds that size that our offense and receiving core desperately need.
Yeah, he has that size, that big body build. He has some speed to him. He has that big playability. And like I said, when it comes to those poor throws, underthrown balls, he's the guy that's going to get up and still make a big play out of it.
On those 50-50 catches.
Yes.
He's your guy.
I think Pittman would be a very nice addition to this receiving corps, man. Just now add another dose of big playability, some youth, of course, and get him back with Juju. They can get that chemistry resuming, possibly see that on the field. That'd be very nice. And we have a guy that can rotate with the 3 guys we got now. So
exactly. You got a 4 wide receiver set, 4 talented and explosive receivers that you got on this offense. That'd be very scary for a returning Big Ben.
Absolutely, man. So receiver, again, depending on who you talk to, isn't a big necessary need, but we do need depth. We do need some rotational guys. Pittman would just add another one to that. Same thing with Deion Kane. So
yeah, and plus, Steelers always love their receivers in the draft, no matter where it is. They always go receiver in the draft.
Now, at the 102nd pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Kevon Wallace, defensive back out of Clemson. We need safety depth.
Badly.
And I think it would be smart, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Steelers go safety pretty early, like the 3rd round. They might go one in the 2nd, depending on who's there. They might go 4th round, honestly. I can see them going within the first 3 rounds or the first 3 picks they got, honestly, because safety depth is a necessary need. Because look at it this way. If Minka or Edmonds goes down, who's going to step in?
Exactly.
Jordan Dangerfield?
No.
Marcus Allen?
I like Allen, but he's not really proven yet. And this is around the time he should be.
And Dangerfield...
Back to Allen. Sorry for cutting you off, but Allen coming out of Penn State had a lot of potential. He hasn't showcased any of that yet.
Yeah.
So looking at it right now, we desperately need safety depth.
And just think about it. And knock on wood like 1,000 fucking times, because if Minka goes down, our secondary for the most part goes down. We need a dependable backup. We need someone that can come in, and if one unfortunately goes down again, knock on wood 1,000 times, to come in and be somewhat reliable and fill in pretty nicely. Kevon Wallace would be that. He was a big defender in Clemson, man. I think he's a big sleeper this year. He's one of the guys the Steelers definitely looked at when they went to Clemson's pro day, which I believe was the only pro day they went to this year because of the whole coronavirus thing going on.
Right.
So they're probably gonna look at most of their picks at Clemson, because that's the only pro day they went to. Again, correct me if I'm wrong on that, but Kevon Wallace, and he's safety depth, which we need. And the thing with Kevon Wallace is that it's not like he would just sit behind on the depth chart and be on the bench most of the time. He would get his feet wet in special teams and in sub packages and in dime packages.
Exactly.
And he's a great tackler. He has very nice ball skills. So I think he'd be a very nice safety piece, depth piece at safety. Again, get his feet wet in special teams as well as sub packages and dime packages. He could fill in that dime backer if we wanted to put him there.
Exactly.
He's got the ability.
And the Steelers have been looking for a dime backer because Morgan Burnett didn't cut out. Mark Barron didn't cut out. We need a dime backer. The Steelers are going to be looking for a dime backer.
Yeah.
Free agency hasn't been a success. Why not the draft? And a guy like Kevon Wallace in the 3rd, I'd be up for it.
Absolutely.
And I would love that.
Absolutely. And going back to the Steelers, I believe their only pro day being at Clemson. If they're going to look at dime backer, the 2 options at Clemson is, of course, Tanner Moose, who a lot of Steelers fans are high on, and Kevon Wallace. Either way, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. They're both very talented and could be absolute steals depending on where they land.
Yeah.
Kevon Wallace in the 3rd for safety depth and getting his feet wet on the field and getting him involved with this young offense with sub packages and dime packages. I think that'd be nice right there as well, man.
Without a
and
doubt.
a dependable backup and someone that could seriously challenge Edmonds, because Edmonds needs competition. He needs a fire lit under his ass.
He really does.
He really does. Kevon Wallace would be that guy.
He would be.
He really would be, man.
I would like that.
Absolutely.
Now with the 124th overall pick in 2020 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Eno Benjamin, running back out of Arizona State.
So we finally go running back here, and Eno Benjamin is, I think, someone that is being slept on a lot. And the thing about him is that he's not necessarily the prototypical Steelers running back in terms of size. I believe he's only, 5'8", 5'9".
Yeah.
He ran a 4.57, so he's not necessarily the fastest guy, but he's got some quickness to him. He has incredible versatility, and he's got some power to him. He's got some physicality. He can run you over. He can put his shoulder down and run you over. He can also make you look silly with his moves, and he has that versatility factor.
Absolutely.
He would sit behind at the running back depth chart and possibly get his feet wet in special teams, of course, and then work his way up, of course, because James Conner might not return next year, and inevitably he's going to get injured. And believe me, it pains me to say that.
It really does. We say this 1,000 times. We love Connor. He's a hell of a football player when healthy. But there's no doubt that we know he's going to get injured, unfortunately.
And
we hate to say that, but it's true.
And we need to either look at the future at running back or start rotating guys. And that's Benny Snell, Jalen Samuels. Hopefully, Kareth White can maybe lean on the roster, maybe as a kick returner. Eno Benjamin could apply some competition there. But the only thing I don't like about Eno Benjamin is I feel like he tries a little too much or tries too hard on certain things. Like, he has a very impressive spin move, but there's times where he does it unnecessarily, and he makes himself look silly. But that stuff can be fixed, of course.
Yeah.
But Eno Benjamin has great versatility. He has size that could sneak past those gaps. He has some quickness to him, some physicality, but, he has that fancy maneuvers to him as well. Exactly. If he can, get on pace and get on base of what and when and how to do it.
Exactly.
If you know what I mean. So
yeah, Benjamin, this year, he actually reminds me of Devin Singletary from last year's draft. A guy that was being slept on. Not a lot of guys were really looking at him, but then the Bills picked him up in the third round, and then later on to the season, Singletary was bursting onto the scene and could end up being a hell of a running back for the Bills. I feel like Benjamin could play that same route, in my opinion.
Possibly. He has the potential, man, and he has a similar versatility.
He does.
So, yeah, man. Now, with the 135th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Ben Bredesen, guard out of Michigan. So we finally go guard here. We finally go interior offensive line in the 4th round. And Ben Bredesen is a guy we can develop under Wisniewski and or Fielder or whatever for 2 years. And then he fill in for Wisniewski's role whenever Wisniewski hangs him up or if his contract expires or whatever. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much interior offensive line depth, which we definitely need. And he's a proper development to eventually take over for that left guard role. Exactly. And he's perfect for that left guard role. He's a pure left guard, and he has the makings to be a very nice and successful development.
Absolutely.
So
now with the 198th overall pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Evan Weaver, inside linebacker out of California. Pretty much inside linebacker depth, someone to replace Tyler Matakevich. Pretty much Tyler Matakevich 2.0.
And similar with the 232nd pick where the Steelers select Bravion Roy, defensive tackle out of Baylor, defensive tackle depth, defensive tackle competition as well. So that's pretty much what it is there. Right. Anyway, guys, that was our mock draft. Let us know your guys' thoughts down below. Quick recap. In the 2nd round, we draft Michael Pittman. 3rd round, we draft Kevon Wallace. 4th round, we draft Eno Benjamin and Ben Bredesen. 6th round, we draft Evan Weaver. And in the 7th round, we draft Bravion Roy. So let us know your guys' thoughts down below. If you guys have any suggestions or mock drafts, go ahead and put them down below, man. And see you guys next week for another mock draft.
Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you later.
Peace!